So for the past couple of years, I've always been asked over and over again how I do my line work, what kind of tablet that I use, and all that stuff. And instead of just commenting it, the process over and over and over, I just decided to just show you what I do. And I'm going to say right now, the majority of my line work here isn't really done by a tablet. If anything, it's done by a mouse. And I use a specific program that kind of help me, gives me the whole line art weight thing. But it's like the big program. I do use a tablet for coloring, shading, and putting like line details, like if it comes to wrinkles or special features of the character's body itself. But a majority of the stuff being done is done by a mousepad. So the programs that I use is Illustrator and Tool Sai. Got it? And the tablet that I use is a Gaomon display tablet, which I actually got from a friend of mine. However, you can use any kind of tablet you want, whether it's a Huon or Wacom, either or. Without further ado, let's get this tutorial started then. Okay, so basically the first thing you do is drag your picture into the file, and I already did. And then I'm going to click on it, and what I'm going to do here is go to transparency, which is right over here, and lower it down to 50% or 49, either or. And after that, I lock it and put another layer on top of that. However, if you happen to not be able to see the option of transparency out here, it's actually pretty easy to find. All you have to do is go on top of the program and look for a section called Window. Once you go there, you scroll all the way down till you see transparency. And if transparency is not checked, go ahead and click on it, and it should show up into your screen. Alright, now that we have the layers ready to go, I'm actually going to get a little bit closer so I can see more details into the picture itself. Now the first thing I'm going to be using is a shape tool, and specifically I'm going to be using the Eclipse tool. So all I got to do is go here, hold click, lower down to Eclipse tool, and then before I do anything, I'm going to go to the color section right here, and where it says fill, I'm going to press this little thing called none, so that there would be nothing filled in inside. After that, I'm going to click on stroke, double click on it. You see how it's kind of grayish? We don't want that. So instead, I'm actually going to get this little mouse thing right here, and I'm going to lower it to all the way into the corner where it's pitch black. Do you see the big difference here? That's what we really want. So once you get that, you're going to press OK. And now we can start. So to make a perfect circle, you click while holding shift, and then you drag. Sometimes you may have to like move the circle around to the right place, but you'll get it. Alright, so once I got my eclipse, I'm going to go to another tool called, I'm actually drag my little mouse over here to find it. Hold on. And it's right about here, the curvature tool. So you're going to click on that. And how this thing works is that you draw by points. So I would just click once, then drag, and then click once again. Wow, okay, I'll show you right now. So here we go. And remember, all this is going to be in one layer only, okay? So watch, one dot here, one dot there, and another dot there. And then to get out of it, I would just press escape and move my mouse aside. And then I do another dot, another that, and whoops, my bad. There you go. Sometimes you can even add more dots within the line itself. You just have to click. You just still have to be attached to that line, of course. Sometimes you may not actually get the perfect curve. So what you can do then, give me a second. What you can do then is that you can see 1 point here, 1 point there, 1 point over there. You see that's too far away? I'm gonna click on these little white dots and move it a bit. Whoops! Sorry. Sometimes you can add more than needed, but we don't need it for this one. So, yeah. Sometimes you may want to do like a curve with a sharp edge. So I'm going to do an example here with the heart. Not a perfect heart there, you see? So I'm going to go down to the pen tool, click on hold, and press on the anchor point. I'm going to be using that. Click on the middle of the heart, and one on the bottom one too. Still kind of not there, so I'm going to go back to the curvature tool, click on the white dot, and move it around a bit. I'm also going to get this little black arrow here to help me fatten out a bit. So this is what I do for each individual line. Well, the basic of the line. I'm going to finish outlining this stuff, and I'll get back right to you guys. We'll see you in a bit.
The government, communications, society. You have been destroyed.
Alrighty. If you did follow the steps that I told you and you managed to outline everything, it should look a little bit like this. But then you notice when you compare this to my finished artwork, there's no width or none of that. Well, this is what's going to happen. But before we go forward, I want to make it clear that all of these lines are in the same layer. See? It's really important that all of this would be in the same layer for, I think, the step after this one. So, first things first, I'm going to change the width of the stroke to, let's put this as a 5. Okay. Then you're going to go to this little tab over here that's the variable with profile. The thing that has uniform is usually next to the stroke area. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to change it to this one. That's how I usually start it off with. A little bit. This seems a little bit too thick. So I'm going to just shrink it up a bit. Because I can't really see much going through that. So let's go to here and let's make it a 3. Yeah, that's a lot better. And now I'm going to get a little bit closer, and here's what I actually do. I don't stick with any of these lines. What I do is I click to each individual line and change it, whether from the profile width, which means the stroke itself, or sometimes I would just click on it and just change the stroke size itself, like the mouth over here. It was too big, so I made it from a 3 to a 1. And then I'm going to click on this little over here. I'm going to click it to this guy, and see? A lot easy. I do this to each and every single one of these lines. And sometimes I even change the color too. In fact, later on I'm going to change the color over here to white for the pupils, I think. Those little circles within the eyes. So yeah, just experiment for a bit and yeah, hopefully you get to your stroke lines, and I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, so I hope all you got your lines worked out, whether it's the stroke size or the stroke style itself. The next thing we're going to be doing is cleaning up all the line work. So I want you to select every single line you have here. Go to this window called Objects, and you're going to scroll down to Expand. And I want you to actually uncheck this little thing called Fill, and just leave the stroke checked. Mainly because we're only working with strokes. None of these lines, or even the ellipses themselves, are filled. So there's no need for that. Now that we got that, you're going to see that the lines are now different. They're no longer strokes. It's like they're their own little vector. Just let me click on one of these and boom. No more 3 dots. Just you know, a bunch of little lines around it. Now, sometimes people aren't really able to get to expand, and there's a good solution to that. So you would select all of this stuff, you would go to expand appearance, and then you go to expand again, and just do the whole uncheck thing like I told you. Now, to the next step. So, I want you to select, again, all of these again, go to Object, and go all the way that says Live Paint. And from there, you're going to click on Make. Now then, you're going to go over here where it says Live Paint Bucket. And if you can't see right there, it's actually under the Shape Tool Builder. Now then, you're going to click on Live Click button. And also make sure that the box in it is all, there's nothing, no filling or anything like that, because we're erasing the lines. We're not coloring the lines. Now, we're going to get a little bit closer, and I'll show you how this works. Right there. Now, what I like to do is I like to click and then drag my mouse to delete any unnecessary lines, like here and here. Sometimes you can just go on the line itself and delete it, and that's okay for me, but since I've been using this for so long, I just click and drag. Right here, right there, whoops, I'm going to go back there in a minute. There we go. But sometimes we get to lines where we can't even erase, and even the bucket tool can't be able to get it. You could just go inside it really closely and try and delete it. But what I like to do here is actually select another tool. So let me get closer to the object that I can't really delete. See that little string right there? I want to get rid of that. I could go to the bucket tool itself, or I can go back here, hold, and go to this Live Paint Selection tool. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the line, and you'll see highlighted in a minute. There we go. And then I will just press delete. And it should go away. There. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer depending the line itself or the computer or how old it is, but it takes me a little bit good while. So I would delete all the big parts first, and then if I can't delete it with my bucket tool, I will go back to the Live Paint tool selection tool and do that. So you guys go ahead and do that, and I'll get back to you.
You have been destroyed.
part is actually pretty optional. I like to do this after I clean up all my line work in Illustrator. Sometimes I like to put a little bit more detail, but I don't want to do it within my Mousepad. So, in this case, I would use my drawing tablet. I use a Gaomon display tablet that was bought to me by a friend of mine. You can also do outlines, whether it could be the little pen right here, and just do it manually. But I'm just gonna use another regular layer. That's the little piece of paper there. I'm gonna get really close and see the dress and the bow need a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna make myself another layer, and I'm gonna go to black, and I'm gonna pick this one of these two, pen or pencil, either or, something dark enough, and I'm gonna make it really small, and I'm gonna start putting little little wrinkle lines. And the reason why I'm doing this in another layer is because in case I have to go through one of my other layers or fix a layer, I can easily just erase it. And yeah, pretty much. Sometimes I have to have little other details, like this character has a mole on her cheek and the bottom of her lip, and of course you have to put little red ribbon line there. So yeah, this option here is, well, optional, but you don't necessarily have to. If you already put all your details already within the lines in Illustrator itself, then woohoo. So yeah, I'm gonna actually finish this drawing right here, and thanks for watching. And now you know how I do all of my line work. Thanks so much for staying all the way to the end of the video. You guys did great. And if you want to see more, any tutorials coming up, or my speed paints in general, you can go ahead and click subscribe. Or if you want to see more of my illustrations, whether it's sketched or done traditionally or digitally, you can follow any of my social medias that are in the description below. And if you have any other questions about this or suggestions for another tutorial video or something like that, go ahead and comment it down and I'll consider it. And yeah, thanks so much guys, and I actually passed 100 subscribers, so that's pretty fun. The next video I'm actually going to do is probably asks video that I wanted to do for a while and I wasn't able to for school, but now that I have the time, I can actually work on that. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Bye bye.